Hi there guys, and welcome to another ST150 video. So this week I have two problems with the ST150 and we're going to address both of them and one other one. So the first one
is there. It is leaking coolant. It's leaving spots of coolant wherever I leave it and I have to fill her up. So we've got a leak.
The next problem is my temperature gauge. It will occasionally creep up just below 60 degrees on there, but it's definitely not going into the middle of the gauge where you'd expect it to go. So there's something wrong with, I believe, the thermostat. So we're going to change the thermostat while we're at it. We've already got the system emptied for changing the radiator, so it makes sense to, at that point, change the thermostat as well, as that seems to be a problem. The other thing that I've got with it is that every time I scan the computer with a diagnostic equipment, I am getting a fault code up that says it hasn't done a full cycle. So basically what that means is that the car needs to learn how... So basically what that means is the ECU needs to learn how the car runs, and it does that by going through a cycle. So when we talk about a cycle, we mean it's going from cold, it's going to hot, it's getting driven on the motorway, it's getting driven in town, it's getting start, it's getting stop, it's getting all these different values, and that is teaching the ECU what the engine's doing, and then it can kind of decide how much fuel and all the rest of it's using. This one never gets above 50 degrees, maybe nearer 60, but 55 degrees, let's say. So it's never, ever, ever getting warm, which means the car always thinks that the engine is cold. 55 degrees is pretty cold for one of these engines. So it's never actually got up to proper temperature. It also means that this car is running a hell of a lot of fuel because it's always cold. So on the screen there, I'll try and zoom in, you've got my average usage, which is 9.1 litres per 100 kilometres. So 9.1 is 31 miles to the gallon, which is terrible. It's actually running more fuel. It's actually using more fuel than Mrs. the Mechanic's 2.5 ton XC90 diesel with a trailer attached. So it's using a hell of a lot of fuel. So we need to get that sorted out because that's getting expensive. So while we've got the system completely empty of water, we're changing the radiator, we're changing the thermostat. There's only one other logical thing to change, and that's the water pump. So we're going to do that as well. So we're going to completely overhaul the cooling system. So there is the leak. The radiator is actually leaking. It looks like it's leaking from this side of the radiator and it's dripping all the way down here. So we're going to replace the radiator. That is the main problem. Looking at it from here, I'm wondering whether I can take it from below rather than above. I'm not sure how to do this job yet. We'll soon find out.
So buried deep down there is the radiator.
Now I'm not sure how to change the radiator yet. I can see the air conditioning condenser just there and the radiator is behind it. It looks pretty tight there to try and get the radiator up through that hole. Maybe I can get it out through the bottom. Maybe I'll take the entire front off. I am not sure at the moment. At some point I would like to get this front off and either replace it or clean it up and repaint it and stuff. It did get made a little bit nasty when I took the air filter off because those didn't come out of there properly, so I want to do something about that. Not sure what just yet. I forgot my microphone, so I'll add the noises in myself. Nearly. Oh, getting it. Oh, splash. So these are the parts we're going to change. We've got the radiator there. Doesn't look too bad. It came really, really well packaged. And we've got the thermostat there from a place called Komoka. Never ever heard of it, but both of these parts are bought from Skruvat here in Sweden. And somebody actually said to me, why not change the water pump while you're already changing everything else? So I did manage to get a water pump from a local supplier, but I'm actually fitting a Bugatti water pump. So none of your crap water pumps. This is a Bugatti water pump going on a Fiesta ST150. So the radiator I've already removed. It's got 1 and 2 electrical connections, and then basically there's some clips on the side here that you just pull out, and then basically you can drop the whole fan out through the bottom of the car. So that gives me a bit more space, and that was fairly easy to do actually. The only thing I needed to do to get rid of that is I took the induction kit out of the way, just to allow me to get some extra space in there. So looking in there, as you can see, we've got the radiator fan removed, so that gives me a bit more space in there. I've also took off the top hose here. The top hose here has this clip on it, so you pull the clip out like that, and then this will just disconnect straight from the radiator. It's got a nice quick fastener to it. And then we've got one of these horrible plastic clips that usually always break, so be absolutely extremely careful with these. They've got a button top and bottom, and you wiggle them off, but be really careful with those. So that goes to the expansion bottle, and there's another expansion bottle that goes back there somewhere. So I'm hoping I don't need to take any more off, but I think I've disconnected the entire radiator. So I'm going to go underneath now, and I'm going to have a look how and if I can get this radiator out through the bottom, because that will save me taking all the rest of this front off, and if we can get to the thermostat. But I think I'm going to have to take that headlight out to get to the thermostat. Okay, so 2 things we have to be careful of. There are these rubber plugs there with a 22mm socket underneath. There's a screw on each one locking it in, so take the screws out and then undo them, and they have a rubber bush. So I've just put the rubber bush back in the hole that I took it out of, so I know that it's going back in the right position. And we now have a big hole. So there's my AC condenser. The bottom part of it has fallen apart. The rest of it doesn't look in that bad of a condition. It's probably old, but it doesn't look in bad condition. So I did manage to get that out of there without too much of a huge problem. So I'm quite happy about that. The actual radiator itself, we've got there. Again, doesn't look too bad, but somewhere along there it's leaking, and I don't know where, and for what they cost I'll just change it. So the only thing I've done to this now is I've taken these rubber parts off of here that fit on these little legs there, and I fitted them to the new radiator like that. The way to get that apart is, so this is the back side of the radiator, the AC condenser goes there, and you'll see on the side there's a little bracket. Actually, I'll probably stand it up, it's probably easier. There's a bracket, and you can see that it's got a little tab on it, so you can press that down, and then you can slide the condenser in that way and the radiator in that way, and they'll separate, and then it hooks in there and there to the actual condenser. So once that's all slid out, it does come out fairly easily. So that is the radiator now out of the way. So I think the next job before I put anything back is to have a look at the thermostat, and I think I need to get rid of a headlight. Right, so the headlight's removed. There are just 3 Torx 30 bolts to get that out of there, and that allows me to get in behind where the headlight was, and we can almost see the thermostat. It's actually connected to that pipe there. So this pipe here that comes from the reservoir goes into a T-junction, and one end of that T-junction there goes to the thermostat, and then there's the big bottom hose pipe there that goes to the bottom end of the thermostat. So if we have a look at the new thermostat housing, you'll see that it is mounted like that, as we saw there. So we can get to that one bolt there. There's another bolt behind there, and then there's another one at the bottom there as well. So those 2 on the right hand side might be slightly difficult to get to, and I might have to take the reservoir out of the way anyway, which I really didn't want to do, but I might have to. But I'm going to start by getting rid of that hose and that hose. That hopefully will give me a bit more room, because that just goes up to the reservoir up there, and that one is the one that goes to the bottom hose of the radiator, and that's already disconnected at the other end. So getting rid of those 2 might give me a bit more access. So there we've got the thermostat housing, although we've got the hole for the thermostat housing just behind there, held on with 3 bolts. just there. It's a bit tight to get to. I was using this quarter drive with a universal joint on, and I think you can do it without, to be honest. Probably get to it. The other tool that I was using that I really like is one of these. The other tool I'm using is one of these. So these have got the little jaws on either side there, and they clamp together. These kind of hose clamps, and you can do it at quite a distance. So as you can see, it's on like what looks like a bike brake clamp. You can put it on there and lock it, and it allows you to get in there rather than trying to get in there with a pair of pliers. So these are really good. I'll try and put a link to that down below to an Amazon shop, or my Amazon shop, so you can buy them from. So there is the thermostat housing. I'm not really sure what is wrong with that. It seems closed right now, but whether it actually ever opens or not, I don't know. I'll get some of my students to boil it up in some water and we'll see what happens to it. But there we've got the new one all ready to go. It's already got its gasket in there, and it just needs the 3 bolts putting in there. So we'll bolt that into place and then we can move on to the water pump. Right, so that is now all the parts removed. So we've got the old water pump and the old thermostat, and then the new Bugatti water pump and the thermostat there, and they're all resting on the old and the new radiators. So all we've got to do now is put all that lot back into there. I did have a slight problem with the lower bolt, whichever one that is on this pump. It's a bit tight to get to, but I was able to get in there eventually and get that loose. And again, these rear two on that one aren't the easiest things to get to, but there's not a massive amount of space in this car anyway. Now, I did say at the start of this video that I was going to maybe pull off the whole front, and I'm looking at it now and I don't think I would have gained too much. The only thing I would have probably gained is a little bit better access to the thermostat. The water pump would have been exactly the same. The thermostat may have been a little bit easier. Other than that, I've got the AC condenser in there, and that would have still been in the way. So pretty much everything else would have been just the same. So I think this is the easiest way to do it, to be honest, to not pull off too much. But I do need to get rid of the headlight. Everything else I can get to from in there. So we'll just put everything back together now then, and then it's time to bleed the system and the all-important road test. Right, so that is the reservoir slightly above max, which is quite all right. I've got just under 5 litres of water in the system. So we're going to start her up now. So far, nothing's dribbled out the bottom, so that's a good sign to start with. I'm not going to put the headlight on just yet because I want to see that the water pump's all right, and I also want to see that the thermostat housing is all right. So we'll put the headlight in later, but now we'll start it up and get up to temperature. So no leaks so far. It's gone down a little tiny bit. Can't see anything leaking just yet. Nothing leaking under the car. That's another good sign. So we'll leave that to get up to temperature for a few minutes, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, I know that I've had my cluster apart, and I can see that that gauge is not really moving that I would like it to. I know that it's not quite in the right place, so it is moving very, very slightly, but I'm not sure if I can actually trust it. So what we can do is we've got the XT90 plugged in from X-Tools, and we are looking down there at the engine coolant temperature, and we can read from there that it's actually 65 degrees, and we can see that pretty accurately just there. So now I can keep my eye on that temperature there, and I can compare it to what's coming up there. So a few minutes on, and we are now at 72 degrees. And one thing I have noticed, that there is actually hot air coming out of there, which I haven't really had since I bought the car. So that's a good sign, I think. Temperature gauge there says, like I say, 72 there. And if we look at that one, it's slightly under 70. So there's a couple of degrees off on that gauge. So I need to move that needle slightly higher up a bit. So I've topped the water up very, very slightly. Got my hand on the top hose of the thermostat now, being careful not to touch the belt on there, but that's still cold, but it shouldn't really open until about 80 degrees or something. So we're just waiting for a few more degrees and hopefully that thermostat will open. The other thing I don't think I've ever heard from this car is the fan cutting in, so that'll be interesting to hear when the fan cuts in. So we've just touched 88 degrees, so we should be about 1 degree off the thermostat opening. If it's an 89, it could be a 90 degree, but we should be somewhere very, very close to that thermostat actually opening now. The hose is still cold. I'm not going to say warm, but cold. So we're close. The fan hasn't switched on just yet, so we're still waiting. I would expect somewhere around about 89, 90 degrees that the thermostat should open, and fairly soon the fan should kick in, if the fan works. I have no idea because I've never heard the fan go. I can see some bubbles. I did just see a bubble shooting out of there. In fact, there's a couple of bubbles shooting out of there. We are now at 89 degrees and I can see bubbles. There are definitely bubbles coming out of that, so I'm going to assume that the thermostat is almost opening. Let's have a feel of the hose. Can't feel anything yet, but we can definitely see bubbles coming out of there. So that should mean that the thermostat is opening very, very slowly. So the bubbles that we can see there are the hose that I've got my hand on is completely empty of coolant. So the air in that, as soon as the thermostat opens, it should push all that air through the system and into this reservoir tank here. So those bubbles are a good sign that this hose is starting to get warm. So according to that, we are at 92 degrees, which should be opening temperature, I believe. And we have a fan. So the fan does actually work. So now we've got hot water. The level has dropped very, very slightly, so we can fill that back up again. The hoses are now all, ouch, very, very hot. And that looks like we now have a working system and no leaks. 98 degrees and the fan cut in. So there's the fan now whirring around. I don't know if you can see it or hear it, but it is definitely moving. So the fan definitely works. So that makes me a happy bunny. So that really does make me very, very happy. Now I know that the coolant works, the thermostat works, the gauge goes up. Doesn't quite go up as far as it should do because I need to work on that. But the engine and the coolant system definitely works, and it's very, very warm inside the car, which it hasn't been for a very, very long time. So I'm going to put the headlight back in there, take it for a test drive, although it's been running now for the last half an hour or so. So I'm quite happy with the fact that it probably does work. What I'm going to do now is clean the floor. So while I'm cleaning the floor, make sure you go and press that like and subscribe button to see more ST150 and more Millie, the very rare Millie and Fiesta. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye-bye.